The rejuvenation of our garden railroad, part 2. The waterfall that flowed behind the bridge had become neglected over the last year, mainly due to the cicadas. I really did not want to be in the garden with that cicada infestation. But the result, as you can see, is that the liner has come away. It now needs a complete rebuild. So the first task was to remove all of the rocks that surrounded the pond and formed the waterfall. And of course, as always, I had my helper, Franklin. When all the rocks have been removed, I could then get in and remove the rubber liner, which will need to be replaced, and then re-dig the shape of the pond and replace the bucket that will form the skimmer box that houses the pump that powers the waterfall. I then placed a new rubber liner, which was much larger than the space that it needed to be, to ensure that after I placed the rocks there wouldn't be any leaks. I then filled it with water, and then I was able to test the new waterfall box, which is the Popper Soap waterfall box. See the link in the description. The resultant waterfall was already looking quite good. The next task was to relay the rails, bring the bridge back, and then continue on with placing rocks around the perimeter. Okay, so I have the liner mostly in place. I have to trim it. Work a little bit more on the flow, although I like the look of the waterfall but not the flow. I have the bridge in place, and now I'm just about to connect the tracks together and then get it ballasted. The new waterfall box was already producing a pleasing result, with water flowing behind the railroad bridge. To be able to run the train across the bridge, I needed to replace the track that surrounded the berm that runs up to the bridge. So the next task was to replace some of the track around the berm and rebuild the wall that was holding up the berm. So the wall holding up the berm had collapsed and needed to be rebuilt. So the first task was to take out the supporting blocks and rebar. They could then be put back and supported with bricks. The whole thing could then be backfilled with soil to give it a more natural look and hide the supporting blocks. It was then onto placing ballast on the rail to allow for a nice smooth running of the train. Like in the real world, what the ballast does is allows the track some room for movement, and it kind of floats on those small stones. And then finally, after replacing some of the track across the bridge, I was able to actually run the train. So the next task was rerouting some of the track that ran around a stone bench. There used to be 2 S-curves which caused the train to derail much too often. So what I had to do was reroute the track and replace sections of the track. So that completed the rejuvenation of half of the railroad, with the main circuit being reballasted and having some track replaced. Next, it's onto the second, smaller circuit, which includes a tunnel rebuild. So watch for that in part 3. So if you've enjoyed this video, why not subscribe for more content just like it? Thanks for watching.